I don't know which one, but I must catch one. Flavor, 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 flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. Girl, I need your girl, I want your girl, I love your flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla. Instruction time, hey girl. Bubble on the pot now. Bubble on the pot now. Hey, just one on the pot now. Bubble on the pot now. You got me saying, oh, oh, oh. Is there any single girls in the party tonight? French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. Girl, I need your girl, I want your girl, I love your flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla. I like your lips, your waist, where you wetting up the place I want to lick. Your thighs and I never tell no lie. I like your flavor, 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 flavor.
Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all.
French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. Girl, I need your girl, I want your girl.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
French vanilla, French vanilla.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Healthy Love. Right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
Tina girl, my African girl.
I want to say big ups to everybody locked in right now.
French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor.
Yeah, those of all types of flavors.
Flavor, flavor. Girl, I need your
Much respect.
girl, I love your flavor.
Kicking off Healthy Love tonight with the sound of Motto.
Love, instruction.
Track called Flavor.
Bubble on the pot now.
I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in. Those on TuneIn Radio. The night shift with DJ Kevin Steele.
Saying, oh, oh, oh.
Those hailing from across the pond, One Ham on the radio. Top of the morning to you guys in the UK.
Tonight, vanilla, French vanilla,
Much love to those in New Jersey, NIE Radio.
vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor.
Much love coming out of New York, Island worldwide. Exhibiting the power of music.
French vanilla, French vanilla.
Big up China.
Your waist, where you wetting up the place I want to.
Mr. Sutherland, how you do?
Thighs and I never tell no lie. I like your
Big ups to the Foundation Radio Network.
flavor,
ClintonLindsay.com.
flavor, flavor, flavor. Ah,
Big ups to those locked in out of Texas.
French
On WGLRO, home of the Donna Walker Morning Show.
vanilla, French vanilla, flavor,
Yeah man, the People Station, you know it.
flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. French
Big ups to those on Alawap Radio and Dusic Media Groups.
flavor, flavor. Girl, I need your girl, I want your girl, I love your flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla.
Those locked checking in and
Hey, girl,
have it locked
bubble on the
on
pot
Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
now, hey. Just one on the pot now.
Now remember, Facebook Live is only a segment, you know, so don't get too comfortable, yeah?
Oh, is there any single girls in the party tonight? French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor.
Remember, you can use the link that is pinned in the comment section. Those of you guys on Facebook Live, it takes you right to the site, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Your waist, where you wetting up the place I want.
Big ups to those who are locked in on the home of the night shift, kevinstew.com. So glad to have you.
Flavor,
Those on PEMGTV.com.
flavor, flavor.
Much love.
Ah,
Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you, and you have my word. I wouldn't even try.
vanilla, flavor, flavor. French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla, flavor, flavor.
1447, big ups to you.
Your girl, I love
Portmore representing.
French vanilla, French vanilla, French vanilla.
What's the weather like in Jamaica right now?
West Indian girl,
Give me a quick update now, please.
vanilla, French vanilla. I like your lips, your waist, where you wetting up.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, Paul C Media Group.
And I never
When being in the moment is priceless, give them a call for your videos, photos, streaming, advertising.
flavor,
Everything you see here on kevinstew.com, they can hook you up with your site hosting. Streaming on your website, just like you're watching me here. Yeah, man. They got the hookup. 754-999-1140. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. You can check them out online too. PulseEMG.com. That's PulseEMG.com. Yeah, a church service, a wedding, a funeral, a seminar, a party, a graduation, anything you want to stream, Pulse E Media can hook you up. The track is called Flavor. Artist goes by the name Motto. Inviting you to call a friend, tell a friend. Friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because everybody needs the information. We're not leaving anybody out. When you come over to kevinstew.com, you don't need to register for anything, you don't need to sign up. You're right there, a part of the broadcast. You're hanging out in the stew pot. Those of you wondering what the stew pot is what others call a chat room. But because we're fancy over here, it's the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. American girl. Thank you for adding to the flavor. West Indian girl. Latina girl. My African girl. So tonight, my Asian girl. As we look at all kinds of flavors. Hey Marva. I want to say big ups to the nurse. Girls. As we can see here on the description for tonight's broadcast, it's called Unhealthy Healthy Food. And you'd kind of wonder what exactly is unhealthy healthy food. If it's healthy, it's healthy. If it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. Which one is it? Make up your mind. But it all depends on the marketing. It does. According to 247wallstreet.com, losing weight is a very common goal all year round, right? But some people work on it at the beginning of the year so they can have the summer bodies. But, you know, we know how successful those people are. We've seen them. We've all seen them. Some of us have been them. And while eating healthier foods, avoiding junk and fatty foods and being more physically active, it sounds simple enough, yeah. The reality is a little bit more complex. It's frustrating when you believe you've been doing the right thing, not to see the scale budge. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you went on 3 weeks ago and the needle was bucking on the other end. And there you are doing all the right things and the needle is still bucking on the other end. Now, it could mean that you need a bigger scale in order to see the difference because you're so far above what that scale goes that whatever you have lost, you know, it still doesn't register. But in reality, the reasons can be many. And the answer may be in what you're eating. Now, Nurse Marva Riley, who is no stranger to this broadcast, has a book called Eat, Sleep, Meditate. Simple book, quick read. And I wish I had thought about it before I'd have grabbed the copy that is here and showed it to you. But I have a picture of it. I can show it to you if you need it. But go ahead, look it up. Anywhere. Just search for it. Eat, Sleep, Meditate. A Nurse's Guide to Good Health by Marva Riley, RN. So, she's here. She's around if you want to ask a question and you want her to answer, she's around. She'll hear it. Numbers to get you in touch: 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram. They all work. But of course, we want to jump into the stew pot and interact there, so that, we can all be interacting at the same place. So if you're on Facebook Live, use the link pinned in the comment section. Come on over. Right? Cool. But the number, 773-789-STEW, it is 773-789-7839. Gets you in touch straight in the studio. And you'd be at calling in, you'd be live. You can remain anonymous if you want to. You can tell your name if you want to, say who you are, ask your questions, whatever. This is a judgment-free zone. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Alright? Now, eating a balanced diet is key. But you have to know which foods have hidden ingredients that you may want to avoid. Not all foods and drinks are created equal. And many of them you only think are healthy, when in reality they create havoc on your body. It's just a disaster. Now, the biggest enemy to your diet is the overconsumption of calories, particularly from sugar, processed carbohydrates, and fried foods. And according to San Antonio clinical nutritionist Sarah Treat, funny that her name is Treat, people are very often unaware of their exact calorie intake. And that is their biggest mistake, especially when you're trying to lose weight. Ultimately, when you're trying to lose weight, you need a calorie deficit, says Jill Meyer, a nutrition health coach in Scottsdale, Arizona. You have to burn more calories than you consume. But you also want to avoid artificial ingredients, or you may not be as successful as someone eating whole foods, she added. Something I constantly have to remind my clients is that carbohydrates are not bad. Gabrielle Rivera, a nutritionist practicing with clinical nutritionist Kay Spears in San Antonio, Texas. And she goes on to say, especially my weight loss clients, they seem to be scared to eat a sweet potato or get intimidated when going out to eat. Now, Marva, whichever platform that you want to chime in on when it comes to going out to eat, it would be good if you could just drop a line or even call. You're always welcome. Now, Treat agrees. And she says fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates and are not bad for you. They are essential for good health. Many of her clients, she said, are also afraid of carbs. I have to remind them of the right ones. So apparently there are right ones and the left ones. No, I mean, they're the right ones and the wrong ones. Now, carbohydrates are an essential macronutrient and are needed for fuel. They are needed just like protein and fats. So some people cut out fat out of their diet altogether. Like, why? You have some fats that are really good. But when eaten excessively, that's when you get into problems. When you start going excessive. Or when they're prepared a certain way, like certain things are fried, then they can cause weight gain. Now, on the line, the nurse has accepted the call. Nurse Marva Riley, welcome.
Thank you so much, my friend Kevin. I had to tune in tonight when I saw your topic on Instagram. I is way past my bedtime, but I
I
had to
know.
stay up.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, it's truly appreciated. Loved. All right, so talking on looking at this food thing here and listening to it, we just went through the introduction according to 247wallstreet.com. This is pretty much just the introduction. I haven't gotten into anything yet. There's some information that I'm going to get into, but with you being someone that has lived the life of one that has needed to change their diet to save their life, what do you have to say about some of these health foods, quote unquote, health foods that people are indulging in?
Mhm. Well, for sure, what I have found, I'm 59 and a half years young. I'll
Yes.
be 60 in May, and I one thing I have learned is that I have to constantly be tweaking
Mm-hmm.
and reevaluating the
Tweak,
way I eat. Tweak and evaluate.
tweak, not twerk.
No, tweak.
just making sure.
Adjust, and readjust and adjust the way I eat.
Right.
For example, perhaps 2 years ago, I could get away with eating a large sweet potato and not worry about weight gain, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I think not I think our metabolism tends to slow down as we get a little older.
Right.
So we have to adjust our diet accordingly. Now I know that one thing that was being pushed quite a bit, especially when the Obamas were in power, is more exercise and more exercise and more exercise.
Yes.
And that has not been the answer for me, and I don't believe it's the answer, because people are going to gym, they're killing themselves at the gym and stuff like that, and they continue to eat high carb, bad carb diet, and they're
Mm.
not losing the weight, and they become frustrated. You could eat. One thing I have found out, one thing I know for sure, is that no matter how much you exercise, if you do not change the way you eat, you're not going to get any result. You're gonna keep that weight on, perhaps even gain the weight, and you're gonna become frustrated, and you're gonna give up on the healthy lifestyle. So eating healthy and some moderate exercise go hand in hand for weight loss and for sustained weight loss.
Okay, so now we get to touch on a little bit of what works for you and what you have recommended in your book,
Mm-hmm.
because there are people listening now that don't know what it was that you had gone through, and they don't know your story, and I don't want you to really get into it because it is documented on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. So you can check the archives. Anyone listening in for the first time and wondering what is Nurse Marva Riley talking about. We have a broadcast where she tells the whole story. Well, a few.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead for me and just guide us a little bit through what some of the things that could help and what helped you.
Okay, so I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 22 years, and I really didn't know anything about nutrition. I didn't know. I thought I knew how to eat healthy and how to take care of myself, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried my best to feed my family, my husband and my children healthy food, but it was the rice and the bread and the pork and the meat, and I didn't give my kids juice, but But I also bought them Cheerios and cookies and things. I just didn't know any better until I became deathly sick with heart disease, where the doctor told me that I probably would need a heart transplant to live.
Right.
And out of desperation, I started searching the internet, and there's so much information on the internet where people like you interview experts and people who have been through some stuff, and it's readily available on YouTube and the World Wide Web and things like that. And a lot of people there talked about how they were able to overcome serious illnesses by just changing the way that they eat and incorporating some moderate exercise. And when my physician did a procedure on my heart, I remember he said to me, I want you to walk every day for half an hour. I also remember him saying, you got to change the way you eat. You need to cut out coffee. You need to cut out tea. You need to eat more vegetables and all of that kind of thing. Okay, so he was one of those doctors that was a conventional doctor, but also obviously believed in healthy lifestyle. And that's what saved my life. I was overweight. I wasn't obese, but I was definitely overweight. Couldn't sleep at night. I was unhealthy overall. Depressed, couldn't sleep, anxious, had heart disease, gastric reflux, irritable bowel, joint pain. All my systems really were not functioning. And it was because I didn't know how to take care of myself. Now, one of the reasons why these diet and these products sell so much and they don't bring any permanent result is because we want quick fix. But there's no quick fix. We've got to go back to cooking in our homes rather than eating KFC. Recently with the pandemic, I heard that in Jamaica, the KFC workers were deemed essential workers. And I couldn't understand. I mean, how could KFC workers be deemed essential workers? I mean, that means that people aren't cooking in their homes anymore in that little island of Jamaica. Because when I go at home, I see, and I'm in Mandeville, the line to KFC is 2 miles long.
Listen, my one day in Jamaica recently, well, it wasn't that recent, it was a couple of years ago. I wanted to go to KFC because I have not had KFC in over a decade. And it is because I came here and I had it and it was like, what is this? So I wanted my Jamaican KFC and I saw that line and I tell you, it wasn't happening. I didn't have that much time. So I forewent that and just had something else. But yeah, it depends on where you go, I guess, and who you talk to. You know, fast food workers are considered essential. You said something before this. You mentioned you being overweight, but not obese. And I want you to emphasize that a little bit. I want you to expound on that a little bit for me. Because people generally hear overweight and immediately think obese, fat. You know, this is what people think when they hear the word overweight. But I've known you for a while, and I don't ever recall seeing you fat. So, what is overweight?
Well, off the top of my head, I cannot give you I cannot give
Not
you
to say a number.
scientific definition. Okay.
Not to say a number, but just overall, what when you say you were overweight, what do you mean? Because you were never fat.
Okay. So yes. So the thing is that according to the scientific community,
Mm-hmm.
we're supposed to be based on our height.
Mm-hmm.
We should be weighing a certain number.
Gotcha.
Hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'3". So according to the
The charts.
scientific or the medical community and the chart,
Mm-hmm.
I should be weighing maybe about 120 or
Right.
so. That's ideal weight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything above that is considered overweight. So I'm
Okay.
5'3". But really, I haven't been in the 120s since I probably was in my 20s. Okay. And that's another reason why I don't weigh anymore either, because it can be very discouraging.
Right.
Now, right now I'm in the closer to 140, and I'm 5'3".
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I tip up to 180, for example, I'm definitely in the obese category.
Mm.
I mean, when you jump from a size, for women, for example, when you jump from a size 6 to
Mm-hmm.
a size 10 and 12, yeah, you're kind of obese.
Gotcha.
But if you jump from a size 6 to an 8, yeah, you have more weight on. But when you cross that obese line, which you have a lot of meat on your body, a lot of fat on your body,
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to lose that weight. And that's why you got to nip it in the bud when you find that your clothes can't fit you anymore, or you have to go from buying a size 6 or size 8 dress, or the guys that used to wear a size 32 waist and now they're 36, 38. You got to nip it in the bud before it gets to 40 and that kind of thing, because it's
Gotcha.
virtually impossible to get it off. Okay. But overweight and obesity are conditions are directly linked to every single chronic health issues that we have, including the risk of poor outcomes with COVID.
Mm. You know.
You're at higher risk for depression and sleep issues. You're at higher risk for heart disease, including heart attack and stroke. You're at higher risk for gastric reflux and irritable bowel and constipation, joint pain, arthritis, everything that you can, immune system, higher risk for cancer, hypertension, every single health issues that we could possibly be afflicted with.
Mm-hmm.
When we are overweight and obese, we are at higher risk for those things. Like I said, including COVID,
Now.
diabetes, all those things. So it is very important for us not to focus, because I always emphasize also, don't focus on weight loss. If you focus on weight loss, you're going to be very disappointed.
Mm.
Okay, and frustrated that you're going to quit.
Right.
Focus on healthy lifestyle. Just change things. You're not going to switch totally from being someone who eat rice and chicken and pork every day to just totally switch to being a plant-based or a vegan. But you can
Right.
start by adding some salad every day. You cut back on the rice,
Mm-hmm.
half that meat, and add more salad and add more fruits and add
Or
more nuts, things like that.
or just change the grain. If you're a white rice type of a person and you switch to brown rice, you're making a change. If you
You're
switch,
making a change, Kevin. You're making a change, Kevin. But I tell you something. Brown rice, the real brown rice,
Mhm.
by the way, not the brown rice that Public sells and calls brown rice.
Mm.
The real brown rice that has a husk on
The
it, has
shell on
high
it.
fiber and
Yes.
stuff. But you're still getting the carbohydrate content. So rather than having 4 tablespoons or 4 cooking spoons of rice, have two.
As
Have two.
that
You
too.
know,
I was gonna
yeah.
go further and say even change the grain. You
Mhm.
have couscous, you have
Quinoa.
quinoa, you have all these grains
But
that
they're also high in carbs.
that are also available.
They're
Yeah.
available, but they are high in they are also
Also high in carbs.
high in glycemic content. They're
Mm,
high in carbs. So even though, okay, sweet potato is good for us. You
right.
could live off sweet potato. In fact, when I was very sick, for 2 weeks, that's all I could have was boniato sweet potato. And that sustained my life for 2 weeks. That is all I could eat. And Publix purified water. So it has a lot of nutrients in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get in trouble if you have a large sweet potato or two medium sweet potato because it has carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are good for us.
Right.
But you have to kind of monitor the amount of carbs. The thing is that carbohydrates, protein, fats are macronutrients. And those are the foods that we really should be having in smaller quantity. Vegetables, like green vegetables
Mm-hmm.
and fruits, have micronutrients. And like apple, the berries, spinach, kale, the squashes, they're rich in micronutrients, and so they're very low in carbohydrate content. So you could actually eat a huge bowl of salad with the greens and the peppers and the squashes and those things, and not worry about it. They'll keep you full, but you're not getting the high glycemic index from them that make you gain weight or can't lose weight.
Got you. And essentially, that's kind of what you want, right? You want to cut down on the sugar.
You have to cut down on this, not because carbohydrate is not just sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the thing, it has starch and sugar.
Right.
Okay, the sugar you generally get from fruits, but that's good sugar. But take bananas, for example. Bananas are very good for us.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are watching your weight, if you're trying to lose weight or you don't want to gain weight, you don't really want to eat 2 bananas or 3 bananas, do you? Because bananas have a lot of sugar.
Got you. It's
So
true.
you want to have 1 banana or half a banana, for example. There's some people who do juicing, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
smoothies and stuff like that. And they're getting a lot of carbohydrate just by throwing 1 or 2 banana in that smoothie.
And
So
but
do one.
is that such a bad
And
thing?
what, the sugar?
The 2 banana is if you have a smoothie, because you work it off throughout the day. You know, you have your smoothie early in the day, and you work it off during the day, right? So not so bad.
Not if you are, because some of us are prone to weight. There's some of us that are prone, especially us women,
Mm-hmm.
especially as we go through menopause and stuff like that. We are prone to hang on to that weight, especially around the middle section. And some
Mm.
guys too. I know it's not a problem for you, but there are some guys that my husband can't, the minute he starts eating at night, you could tell because the belly start growing. But even though, but it's not a good idea to throw 2 bananas in your smoothie. It's better to have 1 or half.
Mm-hmm.
Apple is sweet, but apple has less sugar than banana. So you could easily throw 2 apples in your smoothie and you're not getting a lot of calories from that. Very
Right.
little.
Right. So here it is, and you talk about a lot of this in your book. It's not necessarily what you eat, but how much of it sometimes.
Yes.
And that which is considered so good for you. Anything that is good for you can be also bad for you because you overdo it.
Do you remember the saying? There's a saying in our Jamaican culture that says, too much of a good thing is good for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've come to realize, for example, that Irish potato makes me gain weight. You
Right.
just have to know your body. So I either will not buy it in my house, or if I do, I'll buy the small ones. I'll just cook the small ones, and I'll have one small Irish potato. But I heard you mention something about going out to dinner. This
Yes.
is what I find. And I read that some years ago when I was doing a lot of research about nutrition and stuff. If you eat healthy
Mm-hmm.
6 days a week or even 5 days a week, and then on Saturday you decide you're going to take your boo out to dinner and you eat whatever the heck you want to eat,
Right.
you're not going to gain weight. And then Sunday, you say, okay, I'm going to cook my rice and peas and my jerk pork or whatever it is, and you have your sumptuous Sunday dinner. You're not going to gain weight because come Monday, you'll get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't believe in diet. Okay,
Mm.
because when it's not sustainable. Say, for example, Monday to Friday, you eat good. You cut out the night eating. Saturday you go out and you have a drink or you eat pizza, whatever you want to eat Saturday. You're not gonna gain weight.
Still in moderation. You're not looking to overdo it.
Well, you know what? Frankly speaking, my experience has been, and I have read quite a few testimonials that if you eat clean Monday to Friday, and Friday you go out and you decide you're eating 2 pizzas, it's not gonna blow your health goals. It just isn't, because your body remembers that. Okay, this is what I do.
Mm.
If I go out and whenever I go out, I eat whatever I feel like eating. I love burgers and I love fries. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat my burger, fries, whatever I feel like eating, ice cream, whatever, on a Saturday night, for example.
Right.
But come Sunday or Monday, for example, I'll do like a 16-hour fast where I eat seven. I don't eat anything from 7, and I don't eat anything again until like 11 or so, or 12 o'clock the next day. I just drink tea or water.
Right.
And believe me, if I felt a little tighter on the waistline, that is gone. So we cannot, if we start starving ourselves and depriving ourselves of the things that we really enjoy, we're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna we're not gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
So stick with it Monday. My suggestion: stick with it Monday to Friday, and then weekend you, because once you get used to eating healthy, you're not gonna blow your health plan Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
You're gonna, but there you're gonna say, you know what, you know, I'll have 2 beer instead of 4, because the beer has a lot of sugar, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, um, I just got a message here. Um, Sorry, distracted by this message. It's one of my affiliates sending me a message out of Texas, with some information here about a teacher and 16-year-old student that died of COVID-19. So, you know, boy. Speaking of COVID-19, you mentioned the obesity and the obesity relating to morbidity and even relating to morbidity with COVID-19. One of the things that you don't really hear talked about is just that. How much obesity there is in this country and how much that relates to the morbidities when it comes to COVID-19. And I haven't really been talking about COVID-19 a whole lot because since I presented some information on it one day and I uploaded my broadcast to YouTube, to my archive on YouTube, they blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
And the very next week, the CDC put out the very same information that I was presenting on my broadcast. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to talk about COVID-19 like that anymore. What I will talk about is how to, if you don't live a healthy lifestyle, things that can contribute to that. And this is one of those things because you touched on it and, it started ringing a bell. Our children that we're giving these cereals, even the babies that we're giving these formulas that contribute to them being overweight. We don't pay attention to that. But these are the things that are sometimes recommended by the doctors. The breastfeeding mother that can't be breastfeeding because they have to go back to work. Or the breastfeeding mother that is not even having a proper diet. Because of 2-3 jobs and whatever else. These little things that we tend to overlook. And then we say, all right, here we go, here's some formula. This will, because it is fortified with vitamins A, D, and E, and really? And what else?
I'd like to chirp in if I may,
please,
because there's something that has angered me recently, and I have a YouTube channel also, and I spoke about it on my YouTube channel. I have a granddaughter who is 18 months old, and the parents recently relocated from New York to Florida. Within 2 weeks of arriving in Florida, the baby started having diarrhea, fever, sick. And they hadn't even found a pediatrician yet. So they took her to a clinic, pediatric clinic, and the doctor said, she thought it was a virus and it would pass. Bring back the baby in 48 hours if she's still having the same symptoms. So in 48 hours, the symptoms became worse and the baby became very lethargic. So they took her back to the clinic, and that physician did a blood culture and urine culture and stuff like that. And then he called the parents that night and said, I want you to take the baby to the nearest, to such and such a hospital right now. I'm going to call them and they are going to admit the baby right away because she has salmonella in her blood and she has a urinary tract infection. She's septic. Okay? Now, they took her to a hospital. I will not name the hospital in South Florida. And they were giving her intravenous antibiotic. And she stayed there for 2 weeks. Well, Kevin, during the 2 weeks, this child is 18 months old.
Yes.
And during the 2 weeks that she was there, they brought for breakfast in the mornings hot dog, sausage, sausage, bacon, pancake, and Cheerios, and that other colorful cereal, what they call it again?
The Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops, yes, Fruit Loops. That's what they brought for the baby. Now, she had no appetite, so the parents who don't normally give that to, because my granddaughter, they feeding her that nonsense.
Right.
They allowed her to eat the Fruit Loops because that's all that they could get into her. But that's all the hospital fed that child for the 2 weeks that they were in. And they would send plates full of food that the parents could eat and the child could eat. And every single day it was Fruit Loops. It got to a point like after the third day, my granddaughter would wake up at night screaming bloody murder for 5 hours for Fruit Loops. Addicted to Fruit Loops. And she would cry and they would refuse to give it to her, and she would not stop crying till she got the Fruit Loops. Addicted to Fruit Loops. And the hospital is to be blamed because 8 months old and you're sending sausage, bacon, pancake, Fruit Loops, and Cheerios to a baby's room every single morning for breakfast.
Yeah. You see,
So that's how
these.
that's
Mm,
how they trap our children, and they get our kids addicted to these poisons from a very young age. And by the time she gets to a school age and when she goes to a cafeteria, if the parents don't really mold it into her, she's gonna reach for that. She, like the other kids that have been brainwashed, are gonna be
yes.
reaching for the Fruit Loops. I recently watched a show on Netflix. I think it's called What the Health,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about how the Obamas were pushing for exercise, but there wasn't any emphasis on the nutrition part of it. And no matter how these poor kids eat, exercise, walk, run, whatever, if they're still eating Fruit Loops, and if they're still eating hot dog, and if they're still eating pizza, and if they're
Mm-hmm.
still eating this junk, they will never be normal sized children. They will always be overweight. And these kids were crying bloody murder because they were diabetic
Mm-hmm.
and have high cholesterol and all kind of health issues related to obesity and overweight. And all that they were being offered was to exercise more, and they were exercising more and exercising more, but they never lost the weight. And they some of these kids became so badly diabetic they had to be on insulin because of the food.
You know,
Because of the food. So
when
when these kids are dying from COVID, I haven't really been talking about COVID either, because they'll censor your ass, you know what I mean, everywhere.
like I tell
And
you,
I
that's
don't
what they
I
did.
don't
That
want to
they
be.
blocked one of my
Yeah,
broadcasts.
yeah. They would brand you, and you're at the mercy of social media, by the way. And so we need them to get our voice out there. So we have to be very careful about what we say, what
But
I say.
but you know,
Whenever
Marva,
any uh-huh.
that is why we have our websites. That is why I have
Yes.
kevinstew.com.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because yes, I use a YouTube. Yes, I do a Facebook Live. Oh, I'm still on Facebook Live right now, by the way. I didn't even realize. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna jump off of that in a minute. But um, I use them, yes, to
Mm-hmm.
direct people back to kevinstew.com, because
Mm-hmm.
that is where I live.
Yes.
Social
Yeah.
media is
It's
a
a
tool
tool,
to
yes.
direct people to where they need to go. It is
Mm-hmm.
kevinstew.com that you need to come. It is Marva, to your site that they need to go to. They need to
Yes.
visit you. They need
Mm-hmm.
to know what it is that you're talking about, because
Mm-hmm.
they control the narrative on their
Mm-hmm.
platforms. I control my narrative.
Yes.
And on my platform, there's a
Mm-hmm.
reason why one of the first things you see is have acceptance through enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the whole idea is for you to leave a little bit more enlightened than you came. Now, I am not here to satisfy your hunger. I'm here to stimulate your appetite. So you must
Mm-hmm.
leave wanting more
Yes. And even questioning what your audience should be questioning,
all the time.
whatever they hear you
All
say,
the time.
and
It-
go digging and searching. Is what
yes,
Marva said, is it the truth? What Kevin has said, is it the truth?
go look.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are quite a few medical doctors that are speaking our language, are speaking, saying what we're saying, that
Mm-hmm.
our kids are trapped and are being poisoned by the sugar
Yeah,
that they've put in every single thing that is going in our children's mouth.
but
I
in
mean, peanut butter,
on
the
hey,
number one ingredient in peanut butter. You go look on the supermarket shelf. The number one ingredient in the most popular peanut butter is sugar.
high fructose corn syrup.
So if you're buying peanut butter, if you're listening to us and you're buying peanut butter for your children, look on the label. It needs to say 100% peanut butter and nothing else.
But you see, that's the other
No
thing.
sugar.
People don't know how to read labels. You know, they look at the label and they see a few things listed, and somewhere in there it says peanut butter. But generally, when you read a label, that thing that you see as the
First,
very first in the list,
yes,
that's what there's most of.
yes, yes.
So if you buy peanut butter and peanut butter is number 6 on the list, peanut is number 6 on the list, then
No,
what are you consuming?
yeah. There's a drop of peanut in it. Drop. A drop. It's everything else that you cannot pronounce.
Yes.
That's in that. So my friends, I would I say to your listeners, take your health back.
Yes.
Learn to enjoy, because you know what? Yes, we know the tomatoes that we're eating is not the best tomato. The apple that we're eating is not the best apple. But for sure, an apple is better than a donut. For sure,
Yes.
an apple is better than a donut. We
By
know the
far.
oranges are not the best. The water we drink has some stuff in it to make it taste better. But by jolly water is better than these so-called juice, sugary thing that they do not buy these sugary things and bring them into your home, because if it's there, you're gonna drink it. Do not buy that donut. Do not buy that Oreo cookie, that Cheerios, the chips. Don't bring it home. Because if it's there, you're going to eat it. If you feel like eating some Cheerios, I love Cheerios. Once in a while, I feel like eating Cheerios. I'll go buy me a small pack of Cheerios and I'll eat that sucker till it's done. But I'm not bringing no big bag of Cheerios home and say, I'm going to eat a little bit.
See,
I
that's it.
don't have that discipline.
That's it.
Take back your health,
Yeah.
y'all. It is cheaper. It is cheaper to be healthy. And don't wait till you're sick to start scrambling around and try to do something. Just this week, a family member called to tell me about another family member who, I think she's about 61 or 62, has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of these things are related to what we consume and also our lifestyle. You need good sleep at night. You don't need to be up late at night doing what? Watching TV. And you need to
Listening to
get
my
some
broadcast.
sunlight. And you need to get some sunlight. You need to drink water. You need to walk. Hippocrates said walking is man's best medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that makes people sabotage their weight goal is the night eating.
Yes.
Night eating, y'all, makes you put weight on and keep it on, especially around the waistline. And believe me, if your waistline is big, it is an indication of your heart health. The bigger your waistline, the worse the function of your heart.
You know, one of the things that I've said for the longest while, you know, I started doing this health show with my chiropractor, Dr. Janice Stone, Dr. J Love, as we affectionately called her on this broadcast. And one of the things that she said many moons ago, our gut health indicates our overall health. And the first time she said it, I was like, why? And she very simply said, well, where does everything go? Everything you consume, where does it go? So if you're putting a lot of junk into your body orally, where do you think it's going to go? And,
Into your blood.
and what kind of condition is your gut going to be in? Because, and people, I'm a DJ, not a DR. But when I did biology and I looked at, we breezed through nutrition and the whole system of from consumption to defecation, that food go into your stomach. Stomach, intestines. For me, all of that is gut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People tend to say gut and it's stomach. No, it's stomach, intestines, all that for me is gut. Because what goes into your stomach now passes through your intestines, and from your intestines, it's absorbed to your body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Garbage in, garbage out. Healthy in, healthy out. We are what we eat. Food is medicine or
so
food is poison.
right.
It's our choice. If you're eating
You
donuts,
decide.
you decide. When you're ready to put something in your mouth, say, is this thing making me healthier or is it killing me? And believe me, a lot of what we're eating is killing us. There's no reason why anyone should be eating bacon, sausage, hot dog. Maybe once in a blue moon, maybe,
Oh,
it's a 4th of July, you do something.
I was about
But
to say,
it's,
every now and then I get some turkey bacon.
yeah,
I won't even
once in
lie.
a while. Once in a while. But some of us eat it
It's not
every
a regular.
day.
It's not a regular for me, no.
It should not be. It should not be. But at least turkey bacon is a little bit better than pork bacon. But bacon in and of itself
It's
is
processed food.
bad for us. It's poison.
It's the processed food, and it's
The
high in
process.
sodium.
Yes. Yes.
And again, here we come back to what we eat, because and listen, people, if you think it is the same across the board, think again, because when you talk about how certain foods affect people of color versus those of Caucasians, I should say. So let me get really down and dirty with it. Let me speak it as it is. The food you eat affect black people differently from how it affect white people. In so much, when you look at things like risk of diabetes and heart disease and high cholesterol, when you look at the demographics of it all, black people succumb to it more than white people. However, the medicine that they're looking to give to treat tend to be the same across the board. One of the things that I've come to realize is even the medicine reacts differently to the races. Now, you can believe me or not. Go ahead and look it up and see what you find. I'm not here to give you all the answers. I'm here to make you ask some more questions. So go ahead and ask that question, but don't ask me. Ask it to your search engine. See what you find. Marva, I'm gonna let you go. There's a little bit of information here that I want to toss out to people and see if it will get them thinking a little bit. But before you go, I want you to share your information, your book, where it can be had, your website, your groups, your Facebook group, and your YouTube channel. Go ahead and put your information out there, please.
Okay, thank you for allowing me. So my name is Marva Riley, Riley. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm also the author of a holistic health and wellness book called Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and my website, rnmarvariley.com. I also have a free monthly health and wellness newsletter that you can also sign up for, where I'll send you tips to help you to succeed on your health journey. And you can sign up for the free monthly health and wellness newsletter on my website, rnmarvariley.com. A year ago, when I published my book, I started a Health and Wellness Facebook group. It has grown to well over 600, and it's called The Doctor in You. So you can send me a request to join the group, and I'll gladly accept you. I'm also on YouTube, Marva Riley. Um, Also, I have a healthy plant-based recipe book that's going to be out in November. And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be published in November. It'll be available for purchase, because what I find is that folks don't really know how to eat properly. And they think that eating properly is expensive, time consuming, and that kind of stuff. But the book that I'm publishing, I will share with you recipes that are healthy, easy, inexpensive, and easy to prepare recipes
Mm-hmm.
that you can prepare for your family. They're very, very, very easy. And also, I have some tips to help you to just be creative in your kitchen, to create delightful foods for your family that they'll enjoy and that will also nourish their body. Because, my friends, your health is your only wealth. Believe me, when your health is being threatened to be taken away from you, that's when you will realize how valuable your health is. But
Yep.
you don't have to wait for that. Right now, you can make the decision, because that's the first thing that you need to do to change. Make a decision that I am going to try my best to start taking the best care of myself. And I have a lot of tips on my website, by the way, rnmarvariley.com. And stay tuned for the book. Take care of number one. You
Mm-hmm.
only have one chance with this life. And too many young people are sick with all kind of chronic issues. And you don't have to be sick. And by the way, high blood pressure is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
It is not. Not because you're 50, 60, 70, 80. You don't have to have high blood pressure. And high blood pressure is a disease of the heart. Don't be fooled. Don't accept it as norm. It is not. And if you change your lifestyle, you can reverse high blood pressure, and your doctor will be able to take you off those pills.
There you go.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Thanks for chiming in. You're
Uh,
always welcome.
all right. God bless.
All right, take care.
Bye bye now.
Bye. Nurse Marva Riley, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I tell you? You know, boy, this, I can't be too grateful for people like Marvel that I've come across in my sojourn on this earth. My journey, and things don't happen by accident. Everything happens for a purpose. And meeting Marva years ago, I didn't know that this would be a part of the purpose of that meeting, because this was before she went through what she did. Her near death experience. And it's literal, not just figuratively speaking, it's a literal near death experience. And she had to change her lifestyle in order to survive. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, I'm going to give you some of these um, foods that we think are healthy, but not really realizing that, hey, we need to do better. But before I do go on this little break, I want to mention a few things. One of them being Rhythms of the Heart, happening on the 16th of September in Margate, Florida. Live music. And this is a GMAT Music Solutions production. So it is presented by GMAT Music Solutions. It's Rhythms of the Heart. Tickets are $10. And you can get tickets on Eventbrite. You can hit me up for tickets. And this Saturday, on the Saturday Stew on Reggae Global Radio, you can get an opportunity to win win a complimentary ticket. So join me on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern on Reggae Global Radio. Sorry, 8 p.m. Eastern on Reggae Global Radio for the Saturday Stew, and you could win a complimentary ticket for yourself or someone else to attend Rhythms of the Heart, the October edition. But before that, so that is 2 Saturdays from now. Coming up this Saturday is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. NAMI Broward has their NAMI Walks this Saturday. It's their annual fundraiser. And it's NAMI Walks Your Way. So the Your Way comes up as a result of what has been happening with COVID. And so you can attend virtually or you can be there at Nova University. Come and join us. It's a United Day of Hope. And you can go to the website, namibroward.org. Visit their website to register. And all being well, I'll see you guys there. If you don't know me, I'll be the guy on the stage with the mic. Yes, I'll be hosting this event coming on Saturday at Nova University in Davie, Florida. It's the annual fundraiser for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Broward County, NAMI Broward. And those of you who know NAMI know that it's a nationwide organization. So come, be part of it. Come see what NAMI Broward has been doing. If you're in Broward County, Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade, come on by. It's you can make that journey for the cause. Just go to namibroward.org and register. Okay? I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors. We had gone through the Healing Heavenly Hands segment. Thank you, Althea. Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you bringing her table, her oils, and her Healing Heavenly Hands, of course, with 20 years of experience in them, over 20 years. She only has one request outside of you paying her. She only asks that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done, because if you're anything like me, you're going to fall asleep. And thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment. We're in their segment right now. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, handle your tour management, legal service referrals, business registration, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Get them a call, 954-804-8199. That's 954-804-8199, or check them out on reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Oh, by the way, the number to reach Althea if you're trying to call her up is 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. Or you can email her at thealater@att.net. All right. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a verbal commercial break. Quickly, let me give you some of these. And, Facebook Live, deuces. It's time I jump off Facebook Live right now. Y'all take care. Come on over. There's still time. Come on over to kevinstew.com and be a part of the remainder of the broadcast. Yeah? Cool. All right. So, all right. Got that out of the way. So, real quick, some of the healthy foods. Now, we talk about having a salad and such, and a lot of people don't have salads just as they are, because I guess they think it's a bit naked. So they get salad dressing. Now, store-bought salad dressings are often hard to pick when trying to lose weight. And according to Rivera on 247wallstreet.com, the problem with them is that they can be very high in calories. So she recommends making it at home. Make your own salad dressing. But as a recommendation, she says you'd go the yogurt based salad dressing. Now, deli meats. I don't know how many people think of deli meats and go, wait, I'm not getting that because it's not that good for me. Well, if you do, good for you. Deli meats are usually not ideal for someone who is trying to lose weight because of their high sodium content. Remember we talked about the salt? Now, the salt contributes to the high cholesterol, the high blood pressure, which you heard Marva mention it just now, Nurse Riley. She said it. High blood pressure is a sign of a heart condition. It's heart disease. So, high sodium, high blood pressure, heart disease. Is there a connection? Cool. Hey, cuz, welcome to the broadcast. How you doing? You know, you Jamaicans, I asked you guys earlier what the weather is like in Jamaica right now because you told me it was raining earlier, but I asked for an update and I don't get it. You know, I'm glad you're here now because the other Jamaican in the chat room not talking to me. I don't know. But deli meats, because of their high sodium content, it's not recommended for people trying to lose weight. Consumption of high sodium can cause water retention and could cause frustration for a person who doesn't see the scale moving. They don't see the weight being shed. Research has shown that high intake of sodium over time can increase the risk for obesity. In one study, consuming an extra gram of salt each day was associated with an increased risk of obesity in children by 28%. How many of our children? 1 gram of salt per day. Risk of obesity increased by 28%. Another study found a link between sodium and more body fat in younger adults, but not in people over 65. Now, why leave out people over 65? I'm not too sure. But that's their study. But 28% risk of obesity in children. 1 gram of salt. But yet still, the majority of things that we give to our children include processed meats, which is high in sodium. Think on these things. And when you talk about an unhealthy nation, but healthcare is big business. Yeah, the business of treating sick people is big business. Healthy people don't get treated. You see what is happening? You see the connection? Fruit juice. Nurse Riley mentioned fruit juice. Fruit juice is ideal for someone trying to lose weight because it's not ideal because of its added sugar. If the nutrition label is misread, a lot more calories can be consumed without knowing. Added sugar is a number one ingredient Rivera always recommends her clients to stay away from because it is highly addictive and at times may trigger be a trigger ingredient to binge on other foods. To binge on other foods. Now, make sure that these foods are not among the unhealthiest of items in fast food restaurants. But you heard Marva tell the story of her granddaughter screaming in the middle of the night for cereal. Why? The sugar. That's why. Not to mention the other ingredients. Now, here we go. Next on the list is cereal. For Rivera says, for all her weight loss clients, I recommend not buying cereals for the simple fact that most have high sugar content. Let that sink in for a moment. She says, for all my weight loss clients, I recommend not buying cereals for the simple fact that most have high sugar content. What does that tell you? When sugar is consumed, dopamine, which is a chemical released in the brain that helps regulate learning and emotional responses, among other things, dopamine is released. Research shows that sugar is just as addictive as cocaine. Though this claim is contested among scientists, high consumption of sugar can increase the risk of health issues such as obesity and diabetes. Also, calories from sugar can add up quickly if a person is not mindful of serving sizes. So, you need to be careful. Another on the list is frozen foods. Very convenient. Cool, we get it. But they're also packed with a lot of sodium. Here we go again. And this is for preservation purposes. Again, I don't think it needs to be stressed anymore about the whole sodium thing. Because it goes without saying at this point. Next on the list is, and you will probably raise your eyebrows on this one because I did, avocado. Avocados are famous for being rich in essential omega-3 fatty acids, which can promote brain and heart health and may lower the risk of certain cancers and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Avocados certainly are healthy, but are also high in calories. And you can certainly overeat unhealthy foods. They're not bad for you, but they provide a lot of energy through calories, which is not what you want when you're trying to lose weight. Now, again, Marva reminded us of the old Jamaican saying, too much of a good thing is a no good thing. Or, if you want to put it that way. But too much of one thing not good for you. And this is an example. You consume things in moderation. So you get exactly the amount that you need, or close to the amount that your body needs, so that it will maximize what it gets. Nothing is wasted. And if there's one thing that America is known for, it is waste. Next on the list is diet foods. Now, you might think, wait, that's kind of crazy because we're talking about health food, so why is diet food an issue? Well, while you might think that diet food can help you to lose weight, the opposite may also be true. Diet fruit yogurt, for example, is kind of crazy because these yogurts have a lot of dyes and artificial sweeteners to make up for the taste and the sugar that have been lost during processing. Now, such artificial ingredients may make you crave sugar more because the brain is denied the energy it expects from the sweetness, and it may increase the appetite for calorie-rich foods in the future. So sweet cravings and increased appetite for calorie-rich food now becomes an issue. And this also applies to diet sodas. So watch what you're drinking. Then you have dried fruit. And although fruits have natural sugars, dried fruit often has added sugar. Theoretically, there are fewer calories in a dried fruit compared to a fresh fruit, but there may be significantly more sugar. And you're missing on the water content that makes you feel fuller when you have an actual fruit. You can easily overeat because of their small sizes and lose the calorie benefits. Now, most dried fruit, which are more concentrated sources of nutrients, contain more than 50% sugar. So you're just hyping up, you're just loading up on sugar. High added sugar consumption, again, linked to obesity. So, dried fruit, yeah, healthy. But what are you consuming? Read the labels. Another one that is on the list is sports drink. Now, people automatically go, hey, listen, I'm working out, I need to replenish, these last electrolytes, and sports drinks are the way to go. Are they? Are they really? A sports drink can have as many as 5 teaspoons of sugar and a total of 90 calories. Experts at the Nutrition Source and the Department of Nutrition at Harvard School of Public Health advise you only drink sports drink infrequently and sparingly, if any at all. Sports drinks. But big on the market. Hummus is another one. By all means, it's healthy, as long as you watch your portions. According to Donovan Maycook, a nutritionist at Perfect Solutions, a weight loss center in San Antonio, Texas, it is important that the hummus is made with olive oil rather than canola oil or some other kind that is not healthy or as healthy as olive oil. Canola oil is generally considered safe and contains high amounts of healthy fat, but there are some concerns that it turns rancid when exposed to heat in the production process, destroying the omega-3s and possibly even creating trans fats. And it is trans fats that contribute to what makes certain items in fast food chains the absolute unhealthiest that you can eat. Now, next on the list, I don't know how many get caught up in this and how many are addicted to them, but pretzels. Pretzels are much healthier than Doritos, yeah? But they're still heavily processed. Pretzels are much smaller, which pose a risk of overeating. And if you don't exercise portion control, then you can go overboard. Some brands may contain a significant amount of sodium. In just 1 ounce, you may have 359 milligrams of salt. The American Heart Association recommends a maximum daily sodium intake of no more than 2,300 milligrams. High sodium intake, again, linked to heart disease, your high blood pressure. I meant to ask Marva about this. Marva loves to eat her burger and fries. And I meant to ask her about veggie burgers. But veggie burgers are on this list. When the Impossible Burger first came out in these burger chains, I was like, boy, that looks interesting. But I wonder. I've never had one. I haven't. And I've spoken to some people that have, and they said, boy, it tastes just like the regular burger. And it tastes, and I've heard one person that I can recall saying, it's a bit saltier. I was like, that's interesting. Not surprising, but interesting. Veggie burgers may not be red meat, but they rarely contain green vegetables. They are usually made of starch, so beans or other grains. The protein content in veggie burgers can also vary. In some, the protein source is actually soy protein isolate, which is basically dried soybeans without the sugar and fiber. Now, veggie burgers are also typically packed with sodium. Remember I said they said it tasted salty? This right here. As much as 500 milligrams per serving. That's about a fifth of the recommended daily limit. So, one veggie burger patty, 500 milligrams of salt. I don't know. That may work for you, but consider everything else that you're adding to that. Now, this one popped up on the list, and I was like, mash down that lie. Because I have my almond milk just about every morning. Almonds are healthy nuts. We know this. Rich in fiber, rich in protein, healthy fats, magnesium. But almond milk, not so much. Most of the content has been lost during manufacturing, and sugars and artificial sweeteners have been added. Almond milk, which has significantly fewer calories than regular milk, is often fortified with calcium, but you want to check your labels to make sure. My almond milk, I'm cool with that. Pre-packed sandwiches. You know how people in the US are always on the go? Your pre-packed sandwiches, this is what a lot of them grab. You find them at your gas stations, your corner stores, and such. A lot have been found to have high levels of salt, fat, and sugar. 3 of the killers, basically, are the trifecta. Some sandwiches, especially those loaded with mayonnaise, are basically a high-calorie bomb just waiting to go off. Avoid sandwiches with cold cuts. Here we go back to the processed meats. Filled with nitrates and sodium. Prepackaged sandwiches also are often a day or more old, depending on how they're stored. And such sandwiches could be among the 20 foods that spoil much faster than you actually think. Yeah, we don't really think about that, because they're prepackaged and they're sealed and they're kept cold, so we think, hey, this is the way to go. Well, get your fresh made sandwich. Smoothies. A lot of people like their smoothies, and they like the fact that, you're getting a power-packed drink. You're getting a meal in a drink. Now, the problem with commercial smoothies is that they have too many fruits and very little of it, if any at all, vegetables. That's too much fruits at once. And here we go back to the sugar. You have to add some vegetables for better nutritional value. Get some protein too, noted Mayer. Striking a balance between vegetables, fruits, and protein and fat is key to making a healthy smoothie. And if you really like your smoothies, a good rule of thumb is to keep it simple. Vegetables, fruit, milk, or yogurt for protein. No ice cream. And there you have your smoothie, basically. Some commercial smoothies are also loaded with sugar, anywhere from 50 to 70 grams of sugar in a small 16-ounce cup. Now, sugar is so unhealthy that a recent study claimed that labeling added sugar content, not just the total amount, could prevent thousands of lives being lost. I didn't know that. Who would have thunk it? Now, wrapping up, I got a couple more on this list. This one I have on occasion, not very often. Microwave popcorn. Now, popcorn itself is not a terrible snack. The problem is when they're laced with butter, which is almost always the case with popcorn at the movies and many versions that we get in the stores. With the butter comes trans fats, which have been linked to higher risk of developing heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Then, we touched on it before in the list as these diet foods and these diet drinks the ones that are fat free is what wraps up this list. And many companies process their products to remove the fat. But the problem is that much of the flavor is lost when you take out the fat. The fat brings the flavor. What do they do then to get some flavor back in there? They add salt. They add artificial sweeteners. They add sugar. Flour and other thickeners, which can add calories, are often added as well. So what you want to do is read your labels. If you see a lot of sugar and additives, put the product down, walk away. And walk away if you think of buying any of the fat-free foods and drinks that are only believed to be healthy. But they're not. Just pay a little bit more attention. Take a few moments to just, you can do it in the store if you wish. Look at the label and do a quick search. Everybody has their cell phones and the smartphones. You can pull up your search engine and do a quick search and see your daily nutritional value. A lot of the labels actually have the daily nutritional value on there, or the recommended daily amount. So go ahead, look up your numbers. Think about how you're going to be consuming this product. So now you're being mindful. And even when you're consuming it, you need to be present. So disconnect if you have to. Turn off the devices and just be one with your food. Because even that contributes to your health, your overall health. And you might not think about it that way, but you can't leave out the psychological aspect of our health. And having that meal, taking that time to be present with your meal, that contributes to your overall health. So, and that's one of the problems with eating on the go. It's stressful. And again, stress, you're talking about release of cortisol. Cortisol is one of those things that help to build up fat. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'm a DJ, not a DR, so some of the things that I am saying could be very far off and just, out in left field somewhere. Go ahead, look it up. And then you can challenge me. And in challenging me, you might teach me something. And I'm fine with that. Because it's all about letting each of us teach another of us. So each one teach one. I'm willing to learn too. Not because I'm on the presenting side of this and you are on the receiving side. No. It doesn't mean that I cannot learn something. I can learn from you. I can learn from your experience. What has been your experience? Because it is very different from mine. It's different from Marva's. It's different from Althea's. It's different from the Reggae Global crew, from everybody else. The people at Pulse. The people at my affiliate stations. And thank you to my affiliates once again. NIE Radio, Island Worldwide, One Harmony Radio, PEMG TV, WGLRO, ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network, Follow Up Radio, Dusik Media Group, CR7. Thank you, all of you. Tune In Radio, thank you guys. As we wrap up Healthy Love tonight, before I go into musical therapy, think on these things. Think about what you're putting into your body. Think about that health food store that you go to and you're buying some of these fat-free products. About what else is in them. Think about that. And then come back and share with me what you have found. Because not only think about it, you need to look into it also. Come back and tell me what you found. And let's grow together. Let's be healthy together. Let's extend our current lifeline. And I say extend it because some of the things that we're consuming is reducing our lifeline. We are not consuming the whole products anymore. We're getting these processed products, and because it is quick and convenient, we think, hey, that's the way to go. Science has done a lot for us. So science has managed to pack a lot of nutrients into these little things and have taken out some of the not so good things. And listen, there's nothing like the real thing. So the closer you can get to the real thing, if you can pick it off the tree and then consume it, perfect. But still, too much of a good thing is good for nothing. Remember that.
Chris Malachi.
Kicking it off tonight with the sound of Chris Malachi, working out with Mark Anthony.
Know how far the finish line is.
The track is called Endure as we go into musical therapy.
Miles until I see.
Want to thank McNeil Trucking for sponsoring this segment.
It's just like an addict.
With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands. Give them a call, 954-406-9740.
This life
Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
clearly not drama. Can't stop the vision what me born for. Learning every day that my journey's harder. And I know if you feel the same, give praises to the Most High. For the race is not for the swift, but those who can endure. The battle is not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. Keep your faith, yeah. I know that God is great, yeah. The race is not for the swift. The journey is another gift, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right time for setting like this and go be the law. Thinking of a master plan, but cannot do without. Kingston to Mobile, we'll find a better route. Then we'll fly up on a tour away the bucket list, then oh yeah. Family and future for secure. Every day in you know, but the logic quick enough for show. Yeshua, I flow through your bones. Run out your own pace and seek a better way. The race is not for the swift, but those who can endure. The battle is not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. Keep your faith, yeah. I know that God is great, yeah. The race is not for the swift. The journey is another gift, yeah. The race is not for the swift, but those who can endure. The battle is not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. Seasoning up, well cut up.
This is the sound of Jadan. It's called Cooking.
Seasoning up, well cut up. Good fire blaze up, so you know some pata boil up.
Halukia no, oh Halukia. Hey, yes sir, it's a boy Jordan Congo Bongo himself, and I represent for Kevin Stew on the night shift. City and Kamola. Yes sir.
Seasoning up,
Yes, I.
well cut up. Good fire blaze up, so you know some pata boil up. Seasoning up, well cut up. Good fire blaze up, so you know some pata boil up. I'm cooking today, what I'm cooking today. I got some items through, we got some quinoa will do. I'm cooking today, what I'm cooking today. Items through, we got some spell dumpling will do. So when you eat in about 5 minutes more for this sipper. I said the walnut porridge well thicker. I said the items through with a kick. Say me want no come in no one no little bitter. You know see you me calabash stick. First coke and a Twitter in a hit. Happy save just a little bit. Feel it more when me forward. Frost off on me split. The kitchen a fit it a visit.
she no eat them KFC nor them burger. But it Babylon now where you heard her. And she no eat no for a burger. I'm cooking today. What I'm cooking today. I tell you, without some quinoa will do. I'm cooking today. Them ask me what I'm cooking today. I tell you, without some spell dumpling will do. Seasoning up, when one cuts up, wood fire blaze up. So you know some of what I'm going on. Seasoning up, when one cuts up, wood fire blaze up. So you know some of what I'm going on. There's nothing I'd rather do than spending time with you.
This is new music coming at you from Audley Rollin.
I'd rather be
It's called Close to You.
than in your company. I feel love when you are near. With you, I have no fear. I found what every heart dreams of, and I'll never leave your side. Close to you is where I want to be. Close to you is all I can see. Close to you feels heavenly. Those good things happen when you're close to me. I trust you in all you do. It's crystal clear, this love is true. My one and only forevermore. I no longer have to search anymore. Close to you is where I want to be. Close to you is all I can see. Close to you feels heavenly. All the good things happen when you're close to me.
This is the sound of the late ideology. Track called Pumpkin Belly. It's been about what? About a year now since ideology died tragically in a motor vehicle accident.
Sweater you grow, that a basic. Still, take them back a basic. Now put the jumbo, big as a basic. A couple shake, couple walk shake it. So we do music and so we make it. Oh, what a walk, oh, a pumpkin belly, you don't know. You never yet plant a seed and reap when it a grow.
If I could make a wish, I think
the sound of the birthday boy,
Can't think
Ezra.
anything that I need.
Blessed Earth Day, Tezzy.
No cigarettes, no sleep, no lies.
This is his rendition of The Air I Breathe.
Nothing to eat, no books to read. Making love with you has left me peaceful, warm and tired. What more could I ask? There's nothing left to be desired. Peace came upon me and it leaves me weak. So sweet, silent angel, go to sleep. Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe to love you. All I need is the air that I breathe to love you. All I need is the air that I breathe.
Music just turns me on.
Caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to
The dynamic duo,
moments of emotion.
Master J Ball working out with Original.
Really care,
It's called Another Love Song.
I'm sure of you, and I don't wanna let go. Your love is my resource, my constant comfort zone, and I come to you whenever I'm feeling alone. You never let me down. You always lift my spirit. So grateful that you're with me. I'm thankful that I'm so caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be love. Moments of emotion shared by two really, really care. I caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go. I look forward to every day, even days you stay away. Couldn't have you falling prey to someone else's charms. I love it when you're near me, love. That's when I think clearly, love. Know this might seem selfish, but I really do not care. When you work on trust and you don't stop riding waves of love and build it up, take a leap of faith and don't give in. Love one another. If your love is like an open door, make sure you get what you're looking for. Grab a hold on life and don't let go. Love one another. I'm so caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be love. Moments of emotion shared by two really, really care. I caught up in the rapture of you.
You're the only one that I live for. You can make me feel so much more than
This is Tenniel working out with Fiona.
I ever felt in my life.
Their rendition of I'm in Love.
'Cause if you feel the way I feel, then you know how I feel. And if you're with me in the morning, you will see. And if you know what I know, then you know, baby, that I'm okay with you right day by day. I
get you in my life, oh girl. You deny and I keep trying. Someday I gotta make you mine.
This is Phil Watkins working out with Alicia Marie.
People say
Track called Give You My Love.
anywhere. I've got so much love to share. Like maybe
This is how we close out the night shift tonight. Coming out, well, Healthy Love Night.
give you my love.
Bouncing through this musical therapy.
Let me give you my love. Let me satisfy all your needs. On my mind, I love you from a long time. But in my past, nothing lasts. I don't wanna move too fast. Scared to give my heart away, even from my past mistakes. If it's real, then you wait. I wanna give you my all. Then you give me your love. If you do stick around, then you can satisfy all my needs.
I do want to invite you all to join me tomorrow as we close out the night shift week. A real talk night.
To hold you in my
I also want to thank my affiliates once more. Island Worldwide out of New York, NIE Radio out of New Jersey, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com out of South Florida, One Harmony Radio to the UK, WGLRO, Hollywood Radio, Dusick Media Groups all out of Texas, CR7, PEMG TV. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Truly appreciate love each and every one of you. I'm back tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern.
I know everything.
But as we part company, I want to remind you to look out for members of your community. And remember, your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, the people you pass along the way, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, kevinstew.com and affiliates. It's called The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Thank you again to McNeil Trucking for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands. Give them a call, 954-406-9740 for your moving needs.
Give you my love.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a very, very good night. Until we meet again, blessings. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune into the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Teddy Greaves Jr. with 6 brand new songs out now on his brand new EP, Teddy Greaves Jr. with songs you know and love like Can You Stop the Rain?
Can you stop the rain?
One Last Cry. Can't Get Over You.
Get over.
Wait Too Long. You and I. And One Last Cry, the acoustic version.
One last cry.
Teddy Greaves Jr. Now available on all major digital platforms.
Darling, won't you chase my clouds?
Teddy Greaves Jr.